And good morning, group. Here another morning. Just did my girl Falca and gave everybody their snacky. It's Thursday, April 8th, and another day. And it's a very chilly day. And our friend Buna here is, of course, still in heat. That is going to take a couple more days. So it's a rainy, chilly morning this morning. It's about 5:30 in the morning. It isn't that bad. Turn my kennel lights on here as usual. And for the people that are, members of this group, Thursday is my grocery day. That's when I do all the dog food runs for the week, the groceries for the week for the business. And then the dogs are worked by me once, and then in the afternoon they are hanging out with trainer Charlie while I do all my stuff. So for Ruppert this morning, I am going to stick with the same exercise as I did yesterday. I'm going to focus on focus, but I'm not going to implement a touchpad. I'm just going to ask for focus in a sit. I'm going to play a variation of a different food game, and I think that will generalize the focus and the criteria that he needs to focus to my face. So it will be an interesting session. I bet Ruppert is excited to get out, because I heard him whining, because his girlfriend Darla is of course still in heat, as do all the males still. So some people ask me a question, how is it possible that you keep an intact male into your pack here next to your bitches in heat? Aren't you afraid that they're going to mate? Well, like everything, my relationship-based dog training is based upon trust and respect, and the males respect me as being the leader without any harsh corrections or aversives. They respect me because I have very assertive energy. And everything in their lives since a puppy has been very clear communicated that everything evolves around me. Their survival is dependent on me. That's why I feed all the dogs by hand. And so hence, this big guy here, Bunny, will of course be interested in Darla, but he will never try to hump her or mail her. He always checks in with me, looks at me. And so I have zero doubt. If I would leave these guys unattended in a pasture, yeah, they will definitely start breeding, as all animals would. But with me around, zero problems. Go potty, Benny. Let's get this guy potty. And then I'm going to take these guys to the kennel. And I'm going to let my boy Carl out before I do Ruppert. So I'm going to walk these guys to the kennel, and I'll check in when I get Ruppert. And here's our good friend Ruppert. He actually was sound asleep, which is good. You hear my big boys there. Hey, come on, let's go. Riker is jealous, because he wants to be with the females too. So the poor guy. As usual, Ruppert needs to go potty before we work. So he's pretty good at it. So like I said, in my training block for today, I'm going to stick with focus. The training block will probably be split up in 4 to 5, maybe 6 sessions, depending on how he does. Training criteria are the same. I want you to focus into my face before you get any rewards. The focus, probably a second to 2-3 seconds. Hopefully I can raise the criteria. I'm not going to use the touchpad today. I'm going to just have him sit, as I want to generalize the focus and not attach focus to just the touchpad or the touchboard. That's a mistake that many people make, is that they keep training on the same objects, and then the dog will attach a certain behavior to that object. So there he is. He runs to the to the training area. He knows the routine, which is awesome. So without further ado, let's go into the session. I'm going to set up my camera, and I will see you there. And here we are. We're in the session. The first thing he does is look at my clicker. He's very obsessed with the hands, like we saw before, and the reason why he is so obsessed by the hands is that in every other behavior we developed, the hands were the most important, and also we introduced luring. So now what I'm going to do is, if he looks at the food hand, the hand is going to close. If he looks at me, then he's going to get a reward. So I'm going to use food actually as a distraction. And here we see the approximation of my basic position. He just wants to go in basic position because my hand moves. And that is from previous conditioned behavior. So the reward criteria for him are only focus. And he's obsessed by food, Ruppert. And one of the things that I sometimes do, you see, he wants to go in basic position because of previous associations that he had with the moving of the hands, especially the left hand. As soon as his hand comes a little bit outwards, you see, he immediately goes into basic position. And that is something that we have created and we need to be aware of in our exercise. One more time, and I'm going to give him a mental break here. Goed zo, ventje. Ja, flinke. Goed zo, had niet kloeken. Ja, flinke jongen. Goed zo. Goed zo. This focus work, that takes normally 5-6 training blocks, and the dog will get it. Two seconds there. And ignore all the behaviors that he developed. Just focus on focus. And as you can see, he's obsessed by the right hand. And just obsessed by the hand. Again, because of all the previous work. You saw my hand movement there. That body language is part of my was part of previous conditioned behavior, like the turns, coming into basic position, and part of healing. As you can see here, as soon as I turn, he wants to stay with my left side. As soon as the right hand moves, he wants to stay with the right hand. Very simple criteria. Look into my eyes. He's not looking at anything right now. Well, he is, but he hears the eagle screech. Two more repetitions in this session, I think, and then I'm gonna So remember, we came from a luring stage, and we have taught the dog that whenever there's food in our hand, he needs to put his nose into the food. And now we're basically telling him that that is not going to be successful anymore. I dropped a piece of food, I'm gonna let him have it. There you go, help me cook. That's good, a little bit of progress compared to session 1. Yeah, let's go to session 2. Let's go to session 3 here. So focus on the eyes leads to reward. Focus on the hand doesn't lead to anything anymore. Very important phase to do that early. Otherwise you're going to have a dog that sticks to the hands way too long. So we do need to fade out the hands very quickly. Luring is an incredible useful tool, especially with young dogs and for shaping behavior, not shaping, but creating behavior in puppies and young dogs or dogs that come into your lives and you want to create new behaviors. However, if you stick to luring too long, you get yourself into trouble and the dogs will eventually get hand obsessed. So Ruppert arrived on March 12th, so he's less than a month here, and he's gone through quite numerous amounts of trainings, as you can see. And again here, because I move in my hand, he wants to go into basic position because we've done that in the previous sessions, and that behavior has been successful. And I kind of want him to ignore the hands now. And because he's so food motivated, the dog will have a little bit more trouble focusing on the face and not on the hands anymore. Every time I turn, you see, the dog will come in basic position because that turn is actually part of my body language that he associates with basic position. So every time I do this, you'll see that the dog comes in basic position. So one of the variations that I can do to eliminate that is actually show him different body language and, for instance, sit on the ground. And again here, the hand is not available. There's a shit ton of birds outside. and he's listening to everything but looking into my eyes. That is not happening right now. He's very obsessed by the food, as you can see, and it's not going to be successful. And eye contact is. Ruppert is a dog that does not like eye contact at all. Some dogs do, some dogs don't, most dogs don't. And because most dogs are submissive dogs and following dogs, for them it's a very unnatural thing to look into the eyes, so it might take a little bit for the dogs to develop the confidence that eye contact is not a challenge. He's not looking at my eyes right now, he's just staring here. Yeah, it takes him a little bit before he gets confident, staring for a little bit in my eyes. I'm going to raise the criteria though and ask him at least for 1.5 seconds. But we made progress from our first session from yesterday. Good. Two more tries in this session. I'm going to call it a day here. Niet geluk. Game over. So, we made a lot of progress compared to yesterday. I'm actually very happy with the progress. You know, part of the development of focused behavior is also trying to extinct some other behavior, and that is looking at the hand. And for some dogs like him, very difficult. However, I'm really pleased with the progress today. We're going to repeat this exercise again 1 or 2 more times today in other sessions. But for now, I think he's done well. And so he says, I think so too, especially how he likes to cuddle, this guy. So I hope you find this entertaining and educational. So thank you for tuning in here, and I will see you in the next session. I'm gonna let this guy out to go potty 1 more time and put him in his kennel and take care of little guy, Valkyria and Riker. I'll see you then. Good morning. Another cold morning here. I just took the goof troop out to go potty. A sad morning today, as we found out that the Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, passed away at age 99. and I'm close to the royal family. I'm from Belgium, you know, where we also have a monarch and a kingdom, and I've been always fond of the Queen and Prince Philip. So my heart goes out to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and her family, and of course to all the people of the United Kingdom. But here in America, it's much further from people's hearts than it is with us in Europe. So life goes on. And today, another training session with Ruppert. I'm going to continue focus work that I did yesterday. So when these guys are in, I'm gonna get Carl, and then after Carl, it's Ruppert's turn. So I'm gonna walk these guys to their kennels, and then going to get Carl, and then get my goofball. I seem to have these guys are calling the goof troops, but Ruppert could be a full member of these because he is as goofy as everybody else. So today at the club we have a busy day. Lots of clients. We might go out tracking even. And then tomorrow I will have one session. So this episode will be a very long episode, covering a couple days. As tomorrow afternoon I am here, come. And Benny, come. I just need to call Benny because he is too interested in Darla. Come in, Darla. Benny, come. Come on. And there they are. Poor Darla. The girls want her. Benny, nee. Nena. Good girl. Come on. You don't want babies. So we're gonna put these up and then get Carl. And then I will see you guys. Benny, come. Then I will see you in the session with Ruppert. I'll see you then. So I got my friend Ruppert here. So as usual, we're going to let him go potty. Then we're starting the session here. It's nice and warm in the garage because I use Mr. Heater about half an hour before we train. It is necessary because otherwise this is an ice box. Come on. Go potty, buddy. So for my training goals today in my training session, I will have the exact same goals as I had yesterday with a little raise in criteria, and that is the duration of the focus. I'm probably asking for 1 to 2 seconds. When it comes to raising criteria, you have me heard talking about this quite a while. If the dog is successful 8 to 10 times of the repetitions in your session, so 80 to 100% of the repetitions, then you can increase the training criteria. However, increasing the training criteria, you can't double it. You need to go like 10-20% at a time, otherwise you are lumping. And yes, this will mean that raising criteria in the beginning goes slowly, but the effects are incredible because the behavior will stick. So 10 to 20%, that's about what you need. Then when you have about 50 to 70% success in your training session of the repetition, so 50 to 70% of the sessions, the repetitions in the sessions are correct, then you need to stick to the criteria that you have set. And if you're only 50% or lower successful sessions in a repetition, you should lower the criteria to keep the dogs motivated. So, as you can see, Ruppert is limping just a little bit, and the reason why is he has a cut on his pad from playing yesterday. He ran and stepped into a stick, and that hurt him a little bit. So his pad is cut and it's bleeding a little bit, so he is limping. So no bother. We put some pad cream on it, and he should be fine in a couple days. It just needs to heal. The guy asked me, "Hey, give me some privacy here." He said, "I'm pooping. Come on." And it's pretty funny because they smell the bitch in heat, so they poop and they walk and poop at the same time. You see a lot of dogs doing that, especially when there's a bitch in heat. So they know they need to poop, but they're only also very interested in the bitch. So we're ready. We're going to go into the training area, set up the camera, and then we will see you in the session. And here we are, ready in the session. That went good from the get-go here. I got about 2 seconds of solid focus here. As you can see, part of the behavior that he's presenting is that that front where he comes to the side, he thinks that is part of the behavior. So I do need to fade that out. And that is a normal process where dogs are trying to figure out what is the only criteria that leads to success. As you can see, he's trying to come to the... So with a little bit of movement here, I'm gonna try to get him in a different position to teach him that the position itself is not part of what I ask, and it's only the eye contact. So I have a solid 2 seconds, which is amazing compared to what I had yesterday. And you see, if I spread my arms so open, then he does give me a basic position. So a good example that body language is very important for the dogs. I am going to give him 2 more repetitions here, and then I'm going to see if I can put the focus into my basic position, because he seems to understand what I'm asking. Yeah, he's offering me the focus a lot quicker. There was a little bit of help. It was difficult for him, so I'm going to ask one more session, one more repetition here. Goed zo, manneke. Ja, vriendje. Goed zo. Good so. So let's try one in basic position. And now he's gonna throw that other behavior, as you can see. And again, it's not about following the hand this time. He's not looking at me. There it was. So we raised the criteria by changing the position, and this is absolutely more difficult for him because he's used to following the hand, as you can see, and he's still in luring, and we don't want that. There you go. I'm going to stick with this exercise. Good so. Flinke. Let's do another repetition of those. It is a dog, though, that innately does not like to give eye contact here. Some dogs innately do that better, and this guy does not. And it's very hard for him not to look at the food. But I do want him to learn that in this case, looking at the hand is not what I want. And you need to watch out that even if the dog glances up, that you do have eye contact. So not that he's looking at your shoulder or looking at your nose or staring at your jacket, but that you have solid eye contact. That is the criteria. He's not looking at me. There it was. One more repetition here. Goed zo, ventje. Had niet klikken. Goed zo, ventje. Yeah. I do need to check his paws because it is bothering him. And he hears everything outside. I don't know if the mic can pick it up, but there are a lot of noises. There's the train, there's the birds, there's the hum of the refrigerators that just kicked in. And when he does this focus work, he's very distracted by audible cues. And again here, me talking in these sessions is not ideal, but I do that for you guys, for educational purposes. However, we are not doing the dog a big favor. You see that the latency to the focus is reducing. This is the 7th time he offers focus pretty quickly. Good job. So I know we're on the right track. Good, so Monica. I'm gonna do one more session here with food in the hands. I'm raising my criteria here with a little bit of movement. Good. Good, so okay, game over. That was it. So, guys, I think we gained a lot in this session. We started exactly like we ended last session yesterday, and then increased the criteria slowly. You could see that one of the behaviors that he threw is the side front, because we've been reinforcing that now for, probably 40 times or so, the two sessions combined, and he thought that the front was part of the focus game. So, by moving our body a little bit, we gave him a different position and started reinforcing that, and the only criteria that was the same was the eye focus. Then we brought him into basic position, and the dog, in this case, the dog started showing basic position, which was great, but also started giving eye contact in the basic position, and then slowly but surely we increased our criteria. Not with time, but with some movements to emphasize that it's not about looking at the hands, but that it's looking into your eyes, and Ruppert was successful. So we're going to repeat this afternoon, and I will see you in that session. And we're in the second session here this afternoon. We have the same goals as in our first training block from this morning. The only criteria that I'm going to ask Ruppert is to look into my eyes. I am going to place Ruppert in basic position and have him ignore my hand, either with or without food. We have some observers here. We have 3 people into this training area, so that will add some difficulty and distractions for Ruppert. So we'll see how he copes with that. And then, of course, if that is too much, we need to lower our criteria. And I may actually bring Ruppert into an engagement session if that. If the environment seems too difficult for him. So let me get Ruppert, and I will see you in the session. So we have Ruppert here. His limp is worse than this morning, so I will need to see what the hell is going on. Can you please be quiet, please? Ruppert. Ruppert. Come on, bud. Ruppert is interested in the child that's in here. I do have good response, a little bit quicker than this morning. So he's looking at the movement. Goed zo, ventje. Had niet klok. Had niet klok. Kom op, bud. The environment is challenging for him, but we're going to work through this. And again, when you do this work, we need to really be careful that Ruppert looks into the eyes and not just at the shoulder or the face, but that you have eye contact. Good, so that was nice. Good boy. Had niet klok. Had niet klok. As you can see, we're doing really good compared to this morning. Goed zo, ventje. Goed zo. Had niet klok. Had niet klok. And again, my criteria are only my eye contact and nothing else. Even if his position in basic position is not correct, this is fine for now. I'm just asking for eye contact. And ignoring the luring hand. Ask it one more time. Good. So game over. I think this was good for this session, considering the environmental distractions. I think Ruppert did really well. I did see that his right leg is bothering him, so I'm going to have that checked out, see what's going on. I did saw a cut on his pad, so I'm going to check his toenails here in a little bit, see if everything's fine. So that's it for now. He's going to go get a potty break, and I will see you in the next session.